Ready to manifest the money, business, and life of your dreams? Do you wish you had more ease and flow in your business, your finances, your relationships, and everything else? There's a way to manifest simply, easily, and effectively without exhaustion, and I'm here to show you how. Hey there, I'm Elise McDowell, money mindset mentor and seven-figure CEO. And in this podcast, I will teach you how to reshape your money mindset, manifest consistent money, increase your business sales, transform your self-concept, and create the life of your dreams through the power of your mind. I'm here to help you go all in on you so you can go big in everything you're here to do. Let's get into the show. Hello, gorgeous people. Welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the 3 energetic practices to uplevel your sales, clients, and business. Because we know it's all an energy game. We know that the difference between you and someone else doing the exact same thing that you're doing is your energy. So I think this episode is so important to talk about because we're in a stage right now with business where things are feeling a little stuck for people. Things are feeling like it should be moving, but it's not. It's feeling like we've kind of come out of the storm, or we're coming out of the storm still, and we're ready to get going. We're ready to start up with the momentum, get things going. We want to amplify our energy. We want to get back into the driver's seat. We want to really start taking charge and getting the results that we want in our businesses on every single level, right? But what I've found with many of my customers and clients that I've been talking to is that they're feeling stuck. They are feeling like it's hard to get back into the vibe and then stay in it, right? Staying in that high energy, staying in that energetic frequency where they feel fully aligned. They're finding it hard to keep the momentum going and stay in the energy of expansion. And they find they're getting distracted and spiraling or falling into fear and procrastination. I mean, I've definitely been there. Are you feeling the same? Do you feel like you're here as well? I want you to know this is completely normal, right? It's completely normal. After the events of the last couple of years, it's normal. However, we still have personal power, right? And we'll be talking about this till the cows come home. We still have personal power to choose how our days are going to go, how we're going to show up, how we're going to move through this tricky situation, how we're going to overcome it, right? Because it's our choice. We decide if we move through it or not. So in saying that, I want to get straight into what we're going to be talking about today, because I am launching for the first time ever, a 30-day live coaching experience called Uplevel. Uplevel, right? And what is Uplevel about? It's all about helping you stay and remain in the vibe, right? Well, get in for some of you and remain in that high vibe energy that you get and you feed off when you have a coach, right? When you have someone there in your team, when you have someone kind of steering the ship for you, even though you have your own inner guidance and you know where you're going. Someone who's ahead of you going, hey, this is what's coming up. Hey, this is a way to see it differently. Hey, you could go in this direction too. Hey, maybe you should overcome this problem this way. These are all options for you. Someone who's seeing things that you're not able to, and someone who's playing at a level that you're not quite at yet, but you really want to be, right? That's what I wanted to do in a 30-day live coaching experience where you just are immersed in the energy of expansion and elevation and up levels. And I know for me, when I invest in containers and invest in services with different mentors that I love, just being in their energy up levels me massively. Just being immersed in them and what they're doing and listening to what they're doing as they're going through it, like the lessons that they're learning, getting all their wisdom or their teachings, I find it completely elevates my own vibe and it elevates my own perception of what is possible for me. And this is what it means to be operating at a high vibrational frequency, right? So I know what it takes to get to where I am right now, but you may not be there yet. You may be wanting to get to, who knows? It could be 10K months. It could be 20K months. It could be 30, 40, 50, 60K months. You might be wanting to get to a place where you have complete ease in your business, where it doesn't feel like you're constantly exhausting yourself and overworking all the time. You might be wanting to get to a place where you have customers and clients and followers and audience members who absolutely love everything you do and will buy everything you come out with, regardless of what it is, because they just want to be in your energy. This is how I set up my business, right? This is what I do. I have an amazing business where I get to work with such incredible people, and I get to do it in a way where it's fully aligned with me and fully in a way where I continue to up level to the next level and the next level and the next level, because I'm in that high vibrational frequency where everything is available, where everything is possible. And because I've done this work with money mindset work, right? I know how to stay in it. I know how to stay in the vibe. I know how to stay in the experience of expansion and elevation, even when it starts to get scary, even when personal stuff comes up, other stuff comes up, life stuff comes up, and navigating that, but not letting it take me out of the game, not letting it mean that, oh no, this, what I would perceive negative experience is happening, therefore it's going to obliterate my progress in my business. No, I know how to stay in the game. And that's where I find so many people are struggling with staying in the game, staying in the vibe, staying in the energy, staying in elevation and expansion when they've got their own stuff going on. And that could be limiting thoughts. It could be negative thinking. It could be people throwing you out of your game or off your game. It could be life happening. We can never predict what's going to happen. We can lose loved ones. We can go through, health scares. Those things are very real things that happen that we deal with, but there's still that place within us that we can hold the vibe, right? Hold the elevation, the expansion, even though we are moving through this momentary event as it's coming. And so that's why I wanted to do this 30-day live coaching experience, to help those who are in that place where they're feeling like they're stuck. They can't quite hold on to it. They're ready to move their shit in their energy, but they're just not quite there. They're not sticking to it enough. And they really want to be immersed in it, right? They want daily consistency. They want to be able to up level every day and stay in the energy of it every single day. And so what I'm doing in this 30-day live experience is every single day, I am dropping mini audio bits or audio drops, whatever you want to call them, of coaching lessons in real time. So I record them straight away and send them every single day. And they're daily high vibe mindset shifts. They're energetic boosts, and they're infused with success frequencies to up level your business, your mindset, your income, and life into the next level of expansion that you're over fucking due for, right? How many of you feel like you are overdue for your up level? You are overdue for the next income level. You are overdue for the dream clients and customers that you want. How many of you feel like you're over fucking due for it? That's what we're getting into the vibe of. That's what we're being consistent with. And through daily coaching, teachings, and lessons, I will give you behind the scenes peeks into my processes and shifts and bring you the best tools and techniques I use and show you how I up level, move into flow, increase my income with ease, shift into receptivity, and generate momentum, and so much more. I have so much to teach you. It's already outlined. I have way more than 30 days worth of things. So I'm going to maybe have to double up on some days. But it's there. It's an opportunity for you to just put yourself into a highly elevated container for a tiny, tiny price that is so not even what you would pay for a single coaching session with anyone who plays at this level. And it just gives you that option to move, to bring the momentum, to elevate, to expand, and to up level, so that by the end of April, you're going to be in a place you don't recognize, and you're going to be so fucking happy that you broke through, whether it's a plateau, whether it's having been stuck for the last couple of years, whether it's just been being in the same energy that you're sick of being in. You're going to be in a different place because you put yourself in the vibe. You put yourself in the energy every single day for 30 days, and you showed up for yourself. That's what I'm offering in the Uplevel 30-day live coaching experience. This is the first time I've ever done it. This is probably the only time I'm ever going to do it. And I cannot wait to get started. We start April 1st. If you want to sign up to that, the link is in the show notes below. And if you have any questions, make sure you DM me on Instagram, and let's get into today's episode. So Going back to the 3 energetic practices to uplevel your sales, clients, and business, the first energetic practice that I really need you to start doing if you want to uplevel is creating, elevating, and then holding yourself to your standards, right? Your standards for your business. Now, what are standards and what do I mean by standards, if you are wondering? Basically, I look at standards as the energetic set points that we have for ourselves, right? The energetic set points that we have for ourselves and our businesses. Because you will know this, you will have experienced this many times throughout not just your business, but through your life, is that when you decide, right? And you decide with absolute conviction that something is now a standard, that you get to have some kind of experience, or that you won't tolerate something, that's probably a better example. When you decide that there is something you will not tolerate anymore, and you do not tolerate, and you have not tolerated it ever again, that's an example of that energetic set point being enforced and you holding yourself to it. That's the example. And so when we decide with absolute conviction that we get to have the life, the love, the business, the income, the clients, the purpose, the impact that we want, heaven and earth literally move like nothing you've witnessed before. Because when we claim it and own it and unapologetically decide that it is ours and it was meant for us, it happens, and it happens with speed. But I know for so many of us, we get stuck in the moments before we have decided, before we have set that standard. We get stuck there and we're wobbly, right? We go back and forth. We think it's too much, too big, too hard, too impossible. Or we think we're not quite ready. Maybe we're not the type of person who's going to reach that level because we don't fit the aesthetic, or we don't fit the mold, or we don't fit like the standard person of who would be in that kind of position and making that kind of money, teaching that kind of thing. Or we believe we're not worthy. We even convince ourselves to shrink, right? To play small because it's more sensible and safer that way. And to believe that maybe it's not who we really are. Maybe we don't actually want this amazing life. Maybe we don't want a luxurious lifestyle. Maybe we don't really want as much freedom as we think we do. Maybe we don't. So maybe we shouldn't. But we know that's total bullshit. It's just limiting beliefs, right? Getting in the way, and we're deeming them as true. True and more powerful than us. And for a minute, we're getting a little bit stuck there, right? We're just buying into it and we're like, okay, we're just going to chill here at this point, this standard before the standard we've said, even though it seems crazy. But you know that if it was desired by you, it is meant for you. You know that, right? I'm sure you've heard it, but you know it. You know that if you desire it, it's meant for you. You desire it because it's meant for you. Listen to that one more time. You desire it because it's meant for you. There's a reason you don't have a lot of desires. There's a reason there's a million, actually a trillion other things you don't want because they're not meant for you. You are meant for the things that you desire, right? Even when it feels like there's no way it's going to happen, it looks impossible, that it's so much more than what you're able to handle at the moment, that it's just totally different to who you actually are right now. It's actually meant for you. And our job with setting these standards is that we have to give ourselves permission to have it, even if it scares the shit out of us, right? It's the whole feel the fear and do it anyway. We have to give ourselves the permission to have it because that's the first step. Yes, you can want it. You can think, oh, this is my standard from now on. I will no longer charge low ticket. That could be a standard. But then the next time you want to sell one of your digital products comes around and you're like, oh, but I've never sold it higher than this price before. I don't believe anyone's going to ever pay me at this price because they're so used to this price, which are just limiting beliefs and assumptions we've made up in our own head and no one's actually told us that. So what do? We deny our own standard that we set and we charge the price that we were charging that we promised we wouldn't, right? So you have to give yourself permission first to set the standard and then hold yourself to it. You must hold yourself to it. And I went through this myself. I went through this with my business when I was changing from teaching strictly business strategy and going into more financial empowerment, money and sales mindset, and really focusing more on principles and energetics and mindset, right? That was hard for me. I was like wavering for a bit. I was wobbling. I was going back and forth. I was going into the money mindset aspect, and then I would go back to business, and then I would go to money mindset and teach that and sell products based on that. And then I would go back to business strategy because I'd get scared, right? And then it came to a point where I was like, okay, no, I am a money mindset mentor. I help women with financial empowerment. I show them how to make money easier through their mindset, through their energetic practices, through who they're being, right? I do it. That's how I do it. And that was way back in, I think it must have been 2021 when I fully went in and I fully gave myself permission to do it and I set that standard. And now it's what I do. Now that's what I'm known for, right? So I set the standard and then I held myself to it. So I want you to ask yourself, where have you not been holding yourself to your own standards for your business? And then I want you to ask yourself, what have I been accepting in my business that is less than what I want and why? And what are the actual standards I desire in these areas of my business and why? And then finally, what would it take to give myself permission to have them as my standard now? What would it take? The most important thing is deciding it's done. When you decide that it's done, there's no more questions, no doubts, ifs or buts, it is done. That's when it changes. And in my experience, the process of raising my standards and up-leveling my business and income and clients, it happened when I looked to mentors who were leading by the example that I felt was most aligned with where I wanted to go. It was their standards that expanded me. It was their energy that elevated me. It was their up-leveling that showed me what is available to me, right? By seeing other people do it. Because sometimes we know we have an idea of what we want or what the standard looks like, but we don't fully have a grasp of it yet. We haven't seen an example of it yet. And then when you find someone who is, you're like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. This is what I want. And by those mentors giving themselves permission to hold themselves at their higher standards, they showed me that everything is possible for me too. And that's totally why I'm doing this Uplevel 30-day live coaching experience, right? So that is the first energetic standard. It's setting your standards, elevating them, and holding yourself to them. The second energetic practice is rest. It's resting, right? It is allowing yourself to rest. It is protecting your energy. It is restoring your energy. It is so important because when you operate at such a high level and a high frequency in your business and life, right? Rest must become the rule. It must. You cannot operate continuously without burning the fuck out in your business at a high frequency if you don't rest, if you don't give yourself adequate rest, if you don't give your body, your energy, your well-being, your mind, your spirit, your soul, if you don't give any of that rest, if you don't get any of that a break, you're going to burn the fuck out. But more than that, you're going to lose that connection. You're not going to be able to stay and sustain that connection. And then you're going to experience that wobbly energy, right? Where you feel like you're in the vibe and then you lose the vibe and you lose the momentum and then you have to build up again to get back in the vibe. You're going to go into that like back and forth wobbly energy. No. The best way to combat that is to allow yourself to rest. Like make it a rule. Make it a standard. Make rest a standard, right? Not a luxury of that would be nice, like an actual standard. And I actually said this the other day. If we are not rested, our customers and clients suffer, right? We're not able to show up from the deep capacity that we have to serve them from. We're not able to because we're tapped out. We're exhausted. We got nothing. We're on like low resources energetically for ourselves and for the rest of our lives. So we don't have we don't have space for it. And if we're not rested, our business suffers, our income suffers, our well-being and alignment suffers. If we're not rested, we can't show up from overflow and expansion. We can't connect deeply into the hearts of our soulmate customers. We can't even plug into and get behind our own income goals because we're drained, right? And if we aren't rested, our default rules become we're overworked, exhausted, checked out, and that's not fun. And that is the default for most people. Exhaustion and overworking and fully going into the belief that you must work hard for money. And we are just not available for that, right? I know that you are not available for it. I'm certainly not available for it. No more. None of that. Rest is now a rule and a standard. Okay? From now on, I'm setting your own first standard. From now on, your standard for your business, in order for you to show up massively with insanely potent energy that attracts the most amazing clients and the most money you've ever made before, rest must be your rule. And so that looks like napping, having naps during the day, which I have been doing and I do quite often, and it's lovely. Oh my God, just how restored I feel after a nap does wonders. But it can also be things like going to spa treatments. And I know that sounds like, oh, well, that's a bit different. But how many of you have been to a spa treatment and you fully let yourself relax in it? Whether it was a massage or a body scrub or a facial, whatever the thing is that you love to get, you know how it feels when your body goes in that deep relaxation mode, right? That is resting. Or maybe it could be having a relaxing day at the beach or the forest or a lake or wherever you like to go, right? It could be having a tech detox, just staying the fuck off technology for a whole day. Or it could be just doing nothing. Doing nothing for a day, for a few hours, just resting, chilling, hanging out with friends, right? We do this not because it's this, I don't know, irresponsible thing. I don't know what people who would think resting is bad would say, but irresponsible, lazy, whatever. We don't do that because we want to be lazy and have all the naps. No, we do it because we know that our energy is the most important thing in sustaining us in our business, because we are the product. It's our genius, our skills, our teachings, our wisdom. That's the product. And if we don't have the energy to access it, the well of it, the depth of it that we have there, the container within, if we don't have the energy to access it because we're so fucking tired, our business suffers greatly. And that's a hell no. That's a hell fucking no from now on. Rest is now the standard. Rest must be an energetic practice that you implement day by day. Okay? Because when you're rested, your energy becomes potent as fuck. I cannot express how crazy my energy gets when I let myself rest. Recently, after a big launch I did, and it was quite it took a lot of my energy and I felt quite drained after it. I was like, all right, we're taking a whole week off. But the day straight after the launch, I had a full-on beach day. I just took my beach chair, my umbrella, my book, the latest Outlander book that I'm reading, a couple of snacks, my journal, and I just took myself to the beach and I chilled at the beach for several hours, and it was amazing. I was so restored. And the thing, when I'm rested, is usually when I start getting new downloads and new ideas, because I'm letting myself rest. So by the end of this friggin' day, I was high, so high in energy on the next ideas coming through and what I wanted to do next to my business. So what I do in that case, because in the past it used to be so easy for me to just go back and start working again, what I do is I just write all the ideas down and I leave them in my journal, and then I come back to it once I'm ready to work again. But for me, it's just when I rest, that's when I get the big money-making ideas. When I rest, that's when all the downloads and the strategies and the ideas come to me. So rest is a business strategy to me, right? It's not just a standard. It's not just an energetic practice. It's actually a strategy for me. And I know that I get my best ideas when I'm rested. So rest, okay? Rest. If you're not convinced yet, please be convinced now, because your income triples, the clients flood in, and the opportunities and growth and accolades appear as the byproduct of you resting. So for that, I want you to ask yourself, what do I really, really need today? Do I need to rest? Am I a bit tapped out? Do I need a nap? What do I need? And how can I feel more rested? What would restore my energy? And then do it, right? Do it. It's literally your job. You are the product. Your rest must be an essential energetic practice and standard. Okay? And then the third standard is trust. Yep. Trust is an energetic practice, and it's the hardest one for any of us to practice, right? Because it requires a certain amount of letting go of control, surrendering, trusting that things are working for you, even if you're not. A majority of you workaholic control freaks, I'm talking to myself as well. The majority of you, aka the majority of us, like to control things. And when you're running your business, of course, you control things. You control like majority of the things that are happening in your business, right? Unless you've outsourced and delegated, you're doing all the roles. You're wearing all the hats. And so it can be very hard to suddenly trust and let go of control and allow yourself to believe that there is something else, some other force working on behalf of you. But let me tell you, every single time I have invited that energy, entity, essence, experience, whatever the fuck you want to call it, every time I have opened space in me for that to come in, for trust to come in, for solutions, ideas, miracles, everything being worked out for me, when I've allowed that in, it has always brought me the most miraculous results. When I have trusted and when I've let that experience in and I've let that be a practice, every single time, when I can't explain it, I still get the results I want. I get better than what I want because I have handed this job over. I've sort of outsourced to source, outsourced to universal God or the quantum field. I've outsourced part of the process. And what I call part of the process is like all the stuff that I can't do, that I cannot actually orchestrate myself. I do what I need to do. I do what I want to do. And then I allow that source, energy, trust to fill all the gaps, to make all the things happen that need to happen. And I don't try and micromanage it. I don't try and imagine what that looks like. I don't try to work it out. Don't try to figure out how it's happening. I know because I trust. And when I trust, that is letting go of control, right? It's trusting that it's going to come through for you, whatever it is, even when you can't see it, even when you don't know it, even though you may have seen it come through multiple times before, hundreds of times before, and you're still like, is this time? Is it going to come this time? Will it happen this time? Every time I hand it over, I trust, I surrender, I let go of control, but I stay in the vibe, right? I stay in the vibe knowing that I'm already there. I already got what I want. Like I'm already living in the results. So hello, whatever the source is, this energy is, can't wait to see you once you're here. I know that when I do that, it's all going to work out and I don't have to figure out how. And what a relief that is. It is such a relief knowing that I don't have to think about it. I don't have to work it out. It's not my job, right? It's like the how is not your job. It's not my job to figure it out. My job is to trust and know that that part is done and I'm doing my part. This is a co-creative space to work in. And the reason this is an energetic practice is because it does take energy. It does take vibrational reworking to put yourself in that space and that frequency of trust, right? To put ourselves in that space where we've let go of control and we've like moved away from those lower energy centers with mistrust or distrust or doubt. And we've moved into at least neutral, where we can open up the space to trust. So yeah, I want you to ask yourself, how can I trust more in my business, in God, in the universe? How can I let trust in more? And then I want you to ask, what would it take for me to finally let go of control? And then the final question that I want you to ask yourself is, what do I need to surrender right now in my business, with my clients, in my income, that is completely eating away at me? And just see how you feel. I want you to journal all of these questions I've asked you. I want you to explore. For me, this is the best way that I figure out my answers and then I go through my breakthroughs. So I want you to experience that as well through journaling these questions. Okay, my loves. So those are the 3 energetic practices to uplevel your sales, clients, and business. How do you feel about that? Isn't it interesting? These things that are seemingly unrelated to hustling, making money, pushing for sales, they're all energetic things. These things, these experiences are what makes money, are what gets you your dream clients, are what makes business easier, are what uplevels your growth faster. It's these things that you prioritize and you make an energetic practice that completely radically changes your results. And in the Uplevel 30-day live coaching experience, I should say, I'm going to be showing you, teaching you, and taking you through and upleveling you through just my own energy on how to do it for yourself, how to get yourself into that space where you are fully tuned in, where you're fully aligned, fully expansive, fully elevated, fully moving into the next up level, and then the next up level, and then the next up level. And because it's live, you have this space, this time to really access that energy, right? There's so much power in doing things live. And you know me, I've loved doing live calls, live trainings for forever. But I'm noticing how much it impacts now. I'm noticing how much it feels to me, how much it elevates me, and therefore elevates my customers and my clients. And I know for 30 days, if you come and join me in this Uplevel container and you listen to those audios and you talk in the chat, if you want to talk, you don't have to talk, and you share your feedback, I know that being immersed in that energy for 30 days, you're going to go through a massive uplevel in your business, your income, and with your clients and customers as well. So once again, head to the link in the show notes below to access that, and I will catch you in the next episode.